Okay, I'm gonna make some potato bread. Why? Because I have leftover mashed potatoes from Christmas dinner. So we're gonna use some mashed potatoes. We use some bread flour. Use some half and half. And some yeast. And some water. And probably some salt. Because you probably need a little salt in this. So I'm gonna put a little salt. All right? And just a little bit of sugar so that the yeast can eat something. Okay? So let's start by taking some water, because we got to put some yeast in the water. So here, let me put some water. How much water? I don't know. What's that? How much water is that? Maybe a half a cup? Probably a half a cup of water. And yeast. How much yeast? Well, oh, I gotta heat the water. Gotta heat the water so I can stick my finger in. It's like bath water. So I'll put it in the microwave here for maybe, 10 seconds. 10 seconds. That's probably still gonna be a little too warm, but I can always add cold water to it and then pour it off. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bingo. Okay. Let's see if this temperature is the right temperature. And that's kind of nice. Good. Good. That's good temperature. Very nice. That's warm enough. Perfect. Perfect temperature. Okay, so I'm going to add 1 tablespoon and a half. That's plain old yeast. Okay, I buy it in the pound because it's much cheaper that way. Okay, you always got to dissolve your yeast in water. You can't just throw it in your mix. You have to dissolve it first. So I'm dissolving the yeast, stirring it, getting it all dissolved. There we go. Nice baby temperature warm. Okay. Oops, don't slop it around there, Jean. Don't sloppy Jean. Okay, now I'll set that aside. Now in my bowl here, I'm going to put half and half. How much half and half? Let's see how much half and half we want. We're going to make soft, puffy, delicious, soft, like pillow rolls. Okay, so we're going to put maybe, that's probably a cup and a half, cup and 3/4, half and half. Okay? Okay. Now I'm going to put a little sugar in here. Oops, nice, some there. Okay, a little sugar in here. Not too much sugar. Just enough for the yeast to eat. So maybe 3/4 of a teaspoon. Something like that. Okay. Now, salt. Probably 3/4 of a teaspoon. Somewhere around there. Now, we're going to add potatoes. Now, how much potatoes? All right, I really don't know. I've never made potato bread. So, I'm going to put in probably that much and that much. Probably a cup of potatoes. Let's see what that's going to do. Yeah, dissolve. Now let's mush that in here. Let's mush it in. Yeah, I could actually use a little more potato. So let's use another half a cup. So we got a cup and a half of potatoes. A cup and a half potatoes. Hope there's not too many potatoes. All right, mush it down. And we're going to put this in the microwave to warm it up so that the yeast is going to enjoy that. And okay. So now let's put it in the microwave for probably a minute on high. A minute. Once that's done, my yeast is nice and dissolved here. It's all dissolved here. It's still sitting here nice and dissolved. Kind of dumb to use a cup with little blips in it because then it's kind of hard to get the yeast foam out of there. Alright, it's alright. Smells good. Smells like yeast. Alrighty. It's dissolved. It's dissolved. It's dissolved. Good. Okay. Okay. That's the leftover prime rib from Christmas Day. I'm cooking down the leftover pieces in the gravy. I'm going to make a soup. Okay. Very interesting. Very interesting. Look at my whisk here. Okay. Temperature, it's not quite warm. Not quite warm. Let me mash up the potatoes a little bit more. Get the potatoes, get rid of the chunks. And I'm going to put it in for another 30 seconds because it's not warm enough for the yeast to feed on. 30 seconds. All right. Yes, this absolutely smells delightful, and it looks great. Look at that. When I cook that down for a couple hours, then I'll put take the meat off of it and add the rest of the gravy, the beef gravy that's in the refrigerator, along with vegetables, a little horseradish, a little V8, no V8 juice. I'm not going to use that this time. It's going to be a vegetable beef with no V8. A little different. Okay. And we're going to have to make potato rolls with it. Yeah. Soup, potato rolls. Let's see if this is good temperature now. Let's see. Perfect. It won't kill the yeast. If it's too hot, it'll kill the yeast. So you gotta have it so it's like the temperature where you can stick your finger in it like baby bath. Okay, got that done. Now I'm gonna take my yeast and I'm gonna throw my yeast in there. There we go. Beautiful. Okay. So now all I can do is add flour to it. Okay. So, bread flour. Bread flour. Bread flour is finer than regular flour. It's almost like a powder. So it's got more gluten in it. So let's throw that all in there. I'm going to need even more than that, I know. Okay, throw that over here. Okay. And I remember the last time I had potato bread was in college, like 40 years ago, 50 years ago, 50, 60, almost 50 years ago. And my favorite time in college was when they made potato bread in the cafeteria. It was so good. Oh, look at how nice and stringy that is. Wonderful. So now add some more flour. And you add enough flour so it's easy to handle. Okay. So, more flour. Okay. Got everything in there. Got the salt. Got that. Okay, now when it gets to be like, whoa, okay, when it gets to be like this, then you take it off of here and then you stop using your, okay, put it on there like that, take it off with your fingers. If you don't put the flour there, you're going to end up with dough on your fingers. I don't want dough on my fingers. So, there's there. Okay, good, good. Goes in the sink. Okay, now, get my plastic thing out of here. Wonderful piece of plastic. It makes it so much easier. And you start going, whoops, like this. Round around. And you add more flour. you kind of can't really measure how much flour you're going to use. You kind of have to go by eye. Kind of like cookie dough. You make it the same consistency as cookie dough, and then you add a little more flour so it doesn't stick to your hands. So if you have all made cookies before, now see, that's still a little tacky. And you can do the whole kneading here in the bowl by doing it like I'm doing it, turning it. It's still sticky, so we need more flour. And you can do it in the bowl or on the counter. Now, if I want to do it on the counter, I can do it on the counter. If not, I can keep it in the bowl. So let's do it on the counter. It's a little easier because that way I don't have to take off my ring and my watch and everything else. And keep playing with it. I don't want to get my sleeves dirty. Just put a clean shirt on. Okay. And keep pushing it. Turn it around. Push it. Turn it over. Push it. Turn it over. The more you play with it. Okay, I'm going to turn my sleeves up. I didn't want to do this. I did not want to do this. Ugh. Take the watch off. Take the sleeve up. Okay, now we can play with it. Push it. And as long as it's not too sticky, push it. It's like a big fat pillow. Oh, it feels nice and soft. The more you play with it, the finer texture it will be. Really fine texture. See, it's not sticking to my hands, which is good. And it's picking up the flour here. It's fun for kids to do this because they get, oh, yeah, see, that's sticking on my hand. I put a little more flour. Pretty good. That's about right there where you can. Nice. See? Nice. Nice texture. Alright, so take my bowl, back in the bowl. Some people will say clean the bowl and oil the bowl. No, you don't have to. Don't have to. Extra step unneeded. And then you take your top of your bowl, put your top on it, put it in a warm place. I luckily have a wonderful oven that has bread proofing on it, so I'm going to put it to bread proof automatic. And the bread proofing keeps it at like 90 degrees, about 80 to 90 degrees in the oven. Anything above 100 degrees will kill your yeast. So if you got a warm fireplace, put it near it. Or if it's warm in your house, anything between 75 and 90 degrees. Okay, and then you let it sit there, covered. In about an hour, it'll be doubled in size, and then we'll come back and we'll make our rolls or bread. Well, that's what the potato dough looks like now. It's doubled for sure. Now I'm going to spray a couple of these pans here, and with the spray, and I'm going to make little balls and put them in here, and then let it rise again, and then I will bake it. So, let's get this in the little carton. And we'll cut this. Okay, good, good. Nice dough, okay. Let's, I think you need to get off the counter. Go, get off the counter, go. Oh, gee. Okay, I'm going to spray my pan. It's like a cake pan. Nope, I do it over here so I don't get all over my counters. Yeah, I think that'll make 2 cake pans. Spray them. Okay, sprayed, good. Now, let's cut these roll things up into little pieces. Okay. Probably things of dough like about, that's a little too big. That's a little too big. Probably that big. And crazy cat, that big. Crazy cat. I think I need some flour on my hands because it's sticky. So we'll flour my hands up because that way I won't stick them and I can make them rounder looking rolls. I'll just take a little flour and stick it on the top of that. Roll my sleeves up again, I think. Okay, so a little flour in that. There, looks better, a little rounded. Just a little flour, there we go. 1, 2, 3. Got that cut in half, that one's for that one. And, ooh, it's hot. Orso's cooking for my soup. I didn't realize orso is nothing more than whole wheat pasta, but hey, you learn something new every day. And there. Oh, that's a big one. That's too big. There we go. Oh, there we go. These are all. Woo! Nice clean stove. That's what orzo does. It overflows. Makes a mess on the stove. Okay, wash the hands. Okay. Should have known, should have known, should have known. Turn it down low. Here we go. Okay, another ball of dough. Let's see, about that much. Put them a little closer. They can puff up together. Make puffy high ones. So I gotta get all those into one thing here. Okay. I guess I made too much dough. And I'd be close enough there. We need some in the middle. And they can all, a little more flour. Don't stick in my hands, stick in my hands, stay in hands. Okay. Put him in the middle. A couple more in there. Put this one piece here and divide him into two. I'll put him on the outside. There we go. Put him on the inside and put him on the inside. There. Okay? Kind of like that. 2, 4, 6, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 rolls. There we go. See that? See that? Now, I'm going to put these, I'm going to put a paper towel wet over it and put it back in the warm place to rise. I make it wet because when these rise, they won't stick to the paper towel. Going back in my bread proofing for probably 20 minutes. And I'll do the other batch here. Here are the rolls. They've been risen. I just remembered them. And I took the paper towel off of them. So they're all ready to go into the oven and bake. So I'm going to put the oven up to 400 degrees and I'll bake these for 15 minutes at 400 degrees. So let me preheat the oven and then I'll put them in. Okay, the rolls just came out of the oven. They were in there 15 minutes at 400 degrees. And they look, you hear them? Hollow sounding, which means they're cooked. So now I'm going to take one, put it on this side here, take one out and see what it looks like. Okie dokie. Let's do this from this side. No, I'm not going to eat it. Maybe. Ooh, little baby right there. Ah, hot, hot, hot. Very hot. I probably ought to just dump the whole thing out. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Potato roll. Let's see. There it is. Soft. Oh, smells delightful. You think I ought to take a bite of it? Think I'll take a bite of that? Maybe just a little butter on it. Put it in half. Oh. Look at that. Oh, that is hot. See how the potatoes taste. Okay. Take that much off right there. That's all I'm gonna do. A little more butter. Love butter. Mmm. I can taste potato. Oh my goodness. I can taste the potato. Delicious. So, there they are. Sinful. Yeah, I'm gonna finish it. I'll go back on my diet tomorrow. Nice thing with diets, you can always restart them. Ah, I know, too much butter, but it's delicious. And the soup. Now the soup, I took standing rib roast, took all the meat off of it, took the gravy, stuck it in there, took leftover mixed vegetables from dinner, leftover onions and mushrooms dinner, got some orzo, that little pasta stuff, threw that in there, tablespoon of horseradish, and then I used a little bit of arrowroot thickener to make it just a little thicker, see, a little thicker. And then I added some Worcestershire sauce, a squirt of that. And there's dinner, that with those. Delicious, delicious, delicious.